Greetings everyone, my name is Zetterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 5 Yoshi-Made levels, so in this part, I'll be covering at least 5 or 6 more Yoshi-Made levels, starting out with this one. Mega Man Yoshi-Made Quest Wily Castle 1 by YoshiMate with 28 plays and a score of 7. As always, if you want one of our levels to be featured in a part like this one, please leave both the level name and level ID either in the comment section below or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, a full disclaimer, this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for all the levels that cover in these parts, so if you want to check if our levels covered, expand the description. So it seems that we started with most of the special weapons as well as all the utilities for Mega Man 2. We're of course missing the bubble lead, as well as another special weapon. So it seems that we started out inside the fortress and now we're back outside. So we're forced to use special weapons, of course, because this is a fortress level. And we do not have any charge shots either, just Mega Man 2 physics. Okay then. Apparently the screen scrolling broke over there. That's a really generous checkpoint placement. And this stage seems to be... Okay, never mind. I was gonna say that this stage was kinda sparse on enemies, or different types of enemies, but now we have the Fly Boys. As well as the Cosmic platforms, okay then. And the rolling drills from Mega Man 5, okay then. That's different. I wasn't sure if I could make the jump by slide jumping off of there, so I decided to use item 2 instead. Okay, that was a rather short level. Time to fight Nightman. Okay, his weakness is the quick boomerang. Good to know. Of course, this makes this fight a lot easier because the quick boomerang can arc backwards. I was hoping for a stage that was at least twice or 3 times as long, but apparently it was rather short. And in my honest opinion, I can't really give it a thumbs up because it felt like it ended too quickly, and it didn't capitalize on its fortress gimmicks enough. Especially near the end where we had those random series of those drills. This stage could have been done a bit better, is all what I'm saying, and could have a better focus. Second on the lineup is Palace Frozen in Time version final by Gokuless, with 11 plays and a score of 0. And apparently this will be a longer level, at least 40 to 50 screens long. Once again, I echo this suggestion that I've been talking about throughout this LP. That is, on the intro text crawl, include the number of screens that every level has. That would be really appreciated. Okay then, apparently it's going to be a lot longer, at least 70 screens. Is this going to be a mini Metroidvania level? It seems to be, based on the fact that we don't start out with any special weapons. And we have some random stuttering as well, oh boy. Damage boosting here. I could have waited though, I probably should have waited. If this level is going to be as long as I think it will be, I'll only be able to cover 1 or 2 more levels after this one. Well, at least we have the full charge shot. I will need a skull barrier in order to go to the left though, or a charge kick. Yeah, I definitely need charge kick to get that. Oops, I probably should have slid over to the right instead. Oh well. I'll probably get it the other way. And of course, this is an ice palace, making things more difficult, because ice physics. Good thing that the hot dog cannot turn around. Let me take a look over there just to be safe. Okay then, I can actually loop around. That's good to know. And there's our first checkpoint. Here we're forced to utilize it in order to learn how to do it and to get up over here. Good design. Also, we have a weapon spawn over here so we can play around with the weapons. So, backtracking time, I guess. I guess that's how we go to the right of that ice slasher block. Can we slide through that block using item tree? Should I risk it? Sure, let's go for it. There we go, so we can do it that way. Neat, but we still gotta be a bit careful there, so we don't end up going into the ceiling spikes. Next checkpoint, good placement. I can either go to the right or take the ice slasher block to the left. Let's go to the right instead and see where it leads to. I see a Gemini laser block over there, so I'm curious. You know what? Let me take the ice slasher block on the left because I'm a bit worried where that boss door will lead to. After all, boss doors in this engine are only one way. I don't want to go past the point of no return. I guess we'll gain access to the Gemini laser after this point. Well, that was a really poor jump on my part. Alright, that wasn't that bad actually. I did it on my next attempt right after I said I was going to do a jump cut over there. I just need to do a slide jump, of course. I wonder if that pit over there to the right, in between those spikes, leads to something. And judging by the boss corridor or boss door to the right, I presume that the Gemini laser is optional or something. But we need to go up there somehow. Oh well. So I guess we'll gain access to the dive missile as well as the time slow. And there's an E-tank that we can get by utilizing item tree, which wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. Okay then. And now we have Search Snake blocks. You know, this stage isn't as much of a Metroidvania as I thought it out to be at first. It's just a bigger level. A bigger fortress/special weapon oriented stage. And we also have the air shooter blocks over there, as well as Rush Jet. So we're gonna have to backtrack quite a bit. And I suppose the Gemini Laser is past the point of no return now. So if I didn't grab it at that point, I would never be able to get it. Unless we can backtrack following that Rush Jet block. It may be possible after all. Let's see, we have two doors, let's take the left one. Well, I guess it's one way from the other side. Let's go to the right instead, then. Oh, I remember, Gokuless mentioned that you don't need to have all special weapons in order to complete this level. My bad. Sure, let's use our E-Tank and use a Gemini Laser to whittle him down. Well, I do like this type of design where most of the weapons are optional. Kind of like this design philosophy. This makes sure that more novice players, or ones who don't want to get all the special weapons, can complete the stage more rapidly under 30 or 40 screens, and those that want 100% this stage, they can do so at their own volition. It also has the replayability. In fact, I'm gonna try going for the next set of special weapons. Aha, so it's right to be suspicious of this pit. In fact, it leads over to a character capsule for Proto Man, who actually has the Proto Strike ability, meaning that if I carry on with Proto Man, the rest of the stage will be a lot easier. So I'll meet you back at the next suspicious point, preceding that boss shutter of no return. Let's try blowing open this Gemini Laser block. And I was right to be suspicious because the screen does actually scroll a bit upwards here. There's probably something hiding up there. Probably one of the special weapons that I overlooked. So up we go. I see a weapon energy spawn over here, so there is probably something up there. Thank you for the generous weapon energy spawner placement. It makes these segments a lot easier and makes sure that you can't be soft locked. And there's a weapon capsule for the dive missile. That was one of the special weapons that I was missing earlier. So back down we go. And by utilizing the dive missile following this boss shutter, I can now gain access to another part of the stage. That part. So back up we go. I guess we'll gain access to the time slow next. I should have not overlooked it during my initial playthrough. Nonetheless, I don't mind this type of stage design, where you can skip past most of the special weapons if you want to, and if you want to speedrun the level. Gotta be a bit careful here so I don't accidentally destroy the platforms that I need in order to survive. And of course we gain access to the time slow here. So back to the right we go. Oh, it's so fun to play with the Proto-Strike, especially because it makes mincemeat out of pretty much every enemy. I don't need that E-Tank, I'd rather not risk it. Not to mention we have some alternatives for going through these segments, I just realized. Like, we don't need the Ice Slasher to go upwards, we can also use item 3. And here's a split pathway. I can open this up by using the time slow. And now use item 3 to go upwards. Assuming I actually do it correctly and end up dying anyway, because I was stuck on the ladder there foolishly. Let's try doing this again, shall we? I'm not sure how you can make that jump without taking damage, but I suppose it is possible, if we squeeze in properly. Plus, damage boosting makes that spike segment a lot easier, and that's how we gain access to the Surf Snake. I think what's remaining is the Rush Jet. Okay, what happened there? Somebody got spawned into the spikes or shunted up to the spikes when it destroyed it. That really shouldn't happen there. Oh well, at least there's a checkpoint right over here to alleviate the frustration. Nonetheless, that really shouldn't happen. That's an engine bug. Because I should be shunted downwards, not directly upwards. Back up we go. I'm going to reset the checkpoint over here mainly because I want to be back at full health, knowing what happened over there. And here's the Surf Snake block. You know, with all the special weapons, this stage is much less of a Metroidvania, This stage feels a lot less like a Metroidvania and more like a weapon capsule relay, a good one. Mainly because if you're missing a special weapon from earlier, you're more likely than not be able to access some of the future special weapons, as you can see over here. In my first playthrough, as I didn't have access to the dive missile, I wasn't able to access these segments because I was missing the next special weapon necessary in the chain. I probably should have waited over there, I was a bit worried I was going to embed myself in the spikes. Nonetheless, this is a pretty fun level. It's even more fun when you try to go for all of the special weapons. Definitely. And here we gain access to the air shooter. Only one more special weapon remains, or probably a few more if knowing my luck. Yeah, I don't remember this room for sure. So we just need to survive over here, or just use time slow to make things a bit easier. And of course there's a key over there, so I need to go up here. Thankfully I have the air shooter, so I can hit the enemies very easily. Not to mention I can actually reflect the projectiles back at the hot dog. Also, I have access to the dive missile and Gemini laser. Probably should have used those instead. I do wish we had a Yashiki in this engine. That would be a lot faster. So back down we go for that key. I guess that key will be utilized for getting the rush jet or something. Ah, and we loop back over here. In fact, it's just one screen above of where we entered that last screen, or the last set of challenge rooms. You know, playing as Proto Man is the biggest buff for the stage, by far. I see the air shooter there. This stage definitely feels like a weapon capsule relay, a fully realized one, and currently it's definitely my favorite level to part. And Item Tree has a lot of mileage in this stage, and it is utilized a lot. And here's the windstorm. Okay then, so I guess we're gonna have a full set of the rush jet plus something else that I'm missing. Okay, nothing to the right. That open space over there looked a bit suspicious. Free tank then. That's, I suppose, nice. So I guess we backtrack out of here. Wait a minute, there's something to the right over there. Yeah, it's the windstorm block. I knew it. Somehow that got pushed off screen. Probably because of a glitch or an overlooked thing. That should probably be on screen over there. If we didn't have access to the key, we'd have to backtrack all throughout that segment with the tight jumping. Okay, I don't have the proto-jet yet, so I'll have to do this the hard way. And almost end up dying over there. And there's a proto-jet. Yikes, these segments with the air shooter are really scary. Would have preferred if there was a bit more advanced warning of what's going on. And yet, still I end up dying because I bonked my head against the low ceiling. And that's how we get back safely. Of course, now I have to backtrack a bit. But it shouldn't be too far back of a trek. There's only one more special weapon that I need to get, of course. And this segment is made a lot easier by the fact that we have to go down, instead of just tap jumping everywhere. I don't mean to transition over there, I'm trying to jump over here. There we go, it's a little bit too precise to hit than normal. At least it feels that way. So we're back over here. Hopefully I hit a new checkpoint soon because I don't want to repeat that segment. Thank you. It was right over here. Time to get the final special weapon, which I suppose is Crystal Man's weakness. So we have a project segment with all these spikes. And enemies, of course. When I was hitting the wall, it was just pushing me to the right, but when I ended up hitting the bottom spikes, it despawned it there. Well, okay then. It's not much of a major loss, so I'm not gonna complain. I mean, there's a checkpoint right before all of these difficult segments, which I do strongly approve of. Though I realize that if you're on the Projet, we only have the base Mega Buster or Proto Buster. There we go, after 3 more deaths off screen, I did it. Engine issues. It doesn't seem to register trying to slow down and going up and down at the same time. Oh well, at least there's a checkpoint right over here, so it isn't as bad. It could have been a lot more worse if Rush Jet, or rather the Proto-Jet, decided to despawn if I got hit by an enemy. Then this segment would be a lot more painful. Nonetheless, let's get the final special weapon, and let's end the stage by killing off Crystal Man. I don't need that spare tank, so I'll just go to the right. Oh goody, another one of these segments. Okay, it wasn't that bad. It's trying to move up and down, that's where problems start coming. And there's the Pharaoh shot. I guess that's the final special weapon for the stage. And I suppose it is Crystal Man's weakness. Overall, a pretty good stage. And the stage is fun is elevated when you go for 100% special weapons. If you don't go 100% special weapons, you can complete the stage by just getting the Atomic Fire, as well as the Item Tree utility, I guess. The Ice Slasher and Gemini Laser were definitely optional. And we're back over here. Time to complete the stage and defeat the boss. I already sung all my praises of this stage during my first evaluation and throughout the second playthrough, so I won't repeat myself. 7 out of 10 or 7.5 out of 10. Third on the lineup is Biohazard by Jee Pocket, with 18 plays and a score of 5. Now, as the last level took longer than what I expected it to be, I'll only be covering 2 more levels in this part. My apologies. I'll be covering 1 extra level in the next part to compensate. So I guess this level takes place in a biohazard facility or something. Oh neat, we have an alternate path going downwards if we utilize the skull barrier. As well as a crash bomber. We get a free tank over there, but I'd rather not risk it. I mean, the boss of this stage is supposed to be Time Man, and he isn't that bad usually, especially with his weakness. I do like the combination of foreground and background assets. Of all the levels I showcased in this part, this level has the best aesthetics. So I guess this is the mini-boss room or something. Wow, that's a very neat construction of how it can transition between different parts of the room. Well, it's supposed to switch between going on the top and bottom conveyor belt, and there it just decided to despawn, but unfortunately it got shunted or stuck against the wall. Oh well. I understand what they were going for though. It would have been neat if it worked out the way they intended it to. And now we're in space. So I guess this is a space station biohazard facility. No biohazard enemies though, unfortunately. We don't have any yellow devils yet. Or devil type enemies. They'd fit well here. Once again, another alternate route to the bottom. Let me take a look. Nope, it leads to nothing. Oh well. Okay, we're forced to utilize special weapons here, what with the... never mind. I thought we were forced to utilize the skull barrier there. Then again, this level feels kind of like a fortress level overall. based off of its design. Bit of a lucky jump over there. So I guess this is the next mini-boss room. Easier than the previous one, personally speaking, or about the same in terms of difficulty. Oh, this is neat. That firebar is acting like a defender for that gachapon, and we have spikes on the left, and we can't just easily jump over it. Neat! I like this mini-boss encounter. And I guess it's the end of the level. The stage was about a little bit more than a traditional Mega Man stage length, but I liked it. Nice fortress level. Oh, and we have spikes on the bottom. Those Yoku blocks will work more against me more than anything else. Gosh, that could have gone the other way if I wasn't careful with getting that last hit. Neat little level. I'd say it's my honorable mention of the part for sure. And thus, I will give it a thumbs up. So fourth and final level of the part is Spring Fortress version 2 by MAGMAX with 10 plays and a score of 2. Only sliding, but we have a whole bunch of special weapons. And of course we're going to be fighting a whole series of enemies of different types on top of all these springs. What I need to be careful of is the fact that the checkpoints are a bit more on the sparse side. So if I'm not careful, I can end up killing myself. And being forced to repeat a large chunk of the stage. Well, at least the rooms are being varied up a bit, because these are a lot more compressed than before. I'll gladly take that checkpoint. It's decently spaced for a traditional Mega Man level, although this one's focusing more on special weapon usage. Otherwise, it's a lot harder to get through these segments, especially because we don't have the charge shot. It really feels like a fortress level, as the name implies. That looks really out of place considering they spawn out of nothing, or they rise out of thin air. This is one of those stages where I really wish I had access to E-tanks or M-tanks. Okay then, we need to use item 2 over there. Now just imagine what would happen if I missed that jump over there. That would be really annoying because then I have to repeat that earlier segment. I guess that's how we easily get to the end of the level. It was neat, but boy, did we really need to repeat those Petite Devil rooms several times. We only really needed 1 or 2 of them. They were quite neat with all this mass splitting though. Okay, now we climb upwards to face the boss, I suppose. Now instead of spring challenge, we have star jump challenges. Oh no. There we go, I died 8 times off screen. This set of challenges really shouldn't be in this stage. It feels kind of out of place, suddenly transitioning from spring jumping to space jumping. Well, I see the connection there, but one of the jumps in that earlier segment as well as this jump feel a bit too difficult for this stage's sake. It really feels like a difficulty spike. Nonetheless, let's face this boss. So that was the end of Spring Fortress version 2. Even though we had this repeated boss barricade setup that we saw several times from MAGMAX before, this one worked a bit better because Metal Man took double damage from the Mega Buster. This stage was basically a series of rooms where we faced enemies, different types, on springs, excluding the last portion where we had to utilize space jumping properties of the Star Crash. I'd like to see the stage taken further, and probably was taken further in a future revision, which I will cover eventually. So, out of the 4 levels I covered in this part, my favorite level would definitely be Palace Frozen in Time VFinal by Gokuless, with an honorable mention going to Biohazard by Jee Pocket. So in the next part, I'll be covering several more Yoshi-Made levels. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!